Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2020 Career Mode, episode number 80. It's the dossier period again, 15th of June. We have 6 points to spend, and so played around with the search a bit. I mean, there's 1,877 riders. There are options out there. I went to the list of 6 pointers that'll use our 6 dossier points that we have and got it organized via age, beginning with the 18-year-olds going upward. Most of these guys are without teams, so they're not that costly. They're easier to sign. They're young. They might have high potential. And the majority of these riders at this level have a decent amount of interest right now. So for me, sorting-wise, this worked out really well. But I went through the list already, and I found about 20 riders that I liked. Not one of them did I have an existing scouting report on, though, unfortunately, because what I did was I took all 20 of those riders and assigned my scout to them so I can get a scouting report. And right now, I really wanted to pick somebody that I have a scouting report on already that I know has the potential 5'8", that I could grab and, run with. Unfortunately, literally none of them have that. So I'm unfortunately going to have to take a shot in the dark for this 15th of June, and then hopefully I can get back to this list of scouting reports in the near future and pick from this list between now and August. Most of these riders are 70, 71. There are a handful of 72s out there. There's a single 73 in the mix. So not exactly, top-notch riders. But again, we only have a short period of time between now and the 1st of August. So we only have a few windows. We need somebody who has a decent amount of interest already if we're going to get their interest to 100%. As we've already discovered, me trying to sign riders that are anything less than in the green really doesn't work. It just drives up their cost so much, and we are on such a tight budget that we just can't afford to play around with that. Pavel Rodriguez, Maximino Millar, we're looking good on that interest coming up. Also, scouting report on Pavel Rodriguez, 5'8", loving it. Millar still waiting on his. It's the only active one left that we're waiting on, and then we have that new 20 or so. So that's what we're going to be targeting. Now I just have to pick somebody kind of at random from that list. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim for a 72. Should be affordable to grab a 72. It really shouldn't cost me that much to grab a 72. And we'll be looking for a climber. And then we'll just hope that it turns out in our favor. This is somebody who's quite balanced. 20-year-old Colombian rider. I'm pretty sure we already have a scouting report on them. Or no, that's just that I picked them out. So this is one of the first ones. Eddie Moreau. Let's go ahead and go back. No, now I gotta find him. All right. Well, we will add him to the list, and I'll see you in our first race. When I was a World Tour team, my sponsors no longer cared about national championships much. But when we were a Continental Pro team and below, this was a huge opportunity to grab a whole lot of positive feedback from the sponsor by getting top 10s or better at national championship events. So we open our national championship season with the individual time trial, firstly in Spain. So Lopez rolling out, trying to set the tone. Begins with a pretty hefty uphill section, but you can see most of it's below the 3.0, which is good because Rodriguez is one of the favorites. And the more time it spends underneath that 3, the better off he's going to be because he's got a good time trial rating, but isn't exactly a top climber. In fact, Lopez, I think, has the same, if not better, for a mountain rating. Unfortunately for me, Rodriguez will be setting off relatively soon, so I won't be able to get all the way to the end to see if a 76 is a good measured number. We're definitely at a deficit. Lopez himself already in the top, just outside of the top 10, and not looking too bad off on an energy deficit. So he put in an okay time. He's a terrible time trialist. I mean, he's a 64 today, and with the distance, it's 100% time trial. So prologue rating, nothing, means nothing today. We're about halfway through, and Lopez has recovered a bit of energy, but not a lot. It's recovering fairly slow. Right after the second sector, there's a nice little downhill section where they won't have to waste any more energy. So I think the 76 will work because Rodriguez about to set off, so I'm gonna have to kind of pick and go with it. David De La Cruz has the second best time. Jesus Herrada's in fourth. Muez is leader right now, and oh my goodness, we're going 77 for Rodriguez. Why? +5 race day condition. All right, so here's the thing. Rodriguez came into it with a 0 today. He just bell curved his way to a +5 and came in as one of the favorites. This +5 has got to make him hands down the favorite today. That is an 82 time trial rating. That is a 75 mountain rating. Oh, I love it. Lopez, though, 76 did not do it. Okay, 76 did not do it. So that means Rodriguez is going a little too hard. We're going to back off slightly as we approach the top here. That is over the top. We're going to go 75 now and hope that we can get back because Lopez burned out. So that's not good. That is not good. Already out of energy. We'll just go 99 the rest of the way. But Rodriguez, we're going to try to roll at a 75 now and hope that we can recover because we still have a bit of a deficit. Though you can see he's getting to use his downhill just a little bit. 80 on that downhill rating. So very nice. Rodriguez has the top time at the first checkpoint by almost 40 seconds. But can we hang on to it? Did we go out too hard? Rodriguez rolling at a 75 now, so he's not going quite as fast as he was. And the energy's almost recovered, actually. Lopez, 32nd overall, 5.5 minutes behind. And look at that, Cardosa. As in, I'm wearing the number 1, so that's your number 2. There's not going to be anybody behind me. We've almost caught Cardosa.
The riders are going through a very tough portion.
Last climb.
Percentages above 10%.
1K to the second intermediate sprint. We'll see how we're doing. Energy-wise, we've almost recovered. Second intermediate, over a minute ahead. We got this. Cardosa's in third right now. Just 8 seconds off the second best time. And we've nearly caught him. So all we have to do is keep an eye on him. Energy is now fairly net neutral, coming at Cardosa and Castro Viejo. So we're coming at both of them pretty hard and fast. Oh, this is looking good. It's looking good. I mean, look at that. We're nice and tucked, and Cardosa's just like huffing and puffing out of the saddle, just pushing for everything he's got, and we're still catching up to him.
The best provisional time
Rodriguez is finally going to do something, it looks like. Let's drop to a 74, though. I want to make sure we actually make it to the end. We have a full minute advantage, and we are very much not worried about Cardosa. I am worried about the finish line here. We run out of energy. There, we're out of energy before the finish, so we're going to lose a little bit. But Cardosa already had lost, and look at that. 2 minutes clear. Cardosa still took third. He still held on to third. He ran out a few hundred meters before the finish. We ran out about 100 meters before the finish. That's timed pretty well, considering it was 45K. 2 minutes, 3 seconds. Carlos Rodriguez, Spanish national champion of the time trial. That's nice. Sponsor's going to love that. Now, Rodriguez is going to love that too, and he's going to ask somebody for more money. But again, I already declared, if you didn't hear this last time, if you skipped past it or didn't see the episode, I will not re-sign Carlos Rodriguez. Guaranteed, he's going to want 10,000 plus. And for what? A time trial rating? I'm going to miss that time trial rating, but I've got others, like Barta, who actually there was a lot of comments, okay, so I'll cover this very briefly. A lot of comments about letting Barta go. I want to let Barta go. But I will show you why. Losing Rodriguez is already going to cost us our time trial rating a bit. If we lose Barta, this plummets. We need a time trial rating. We've got Ginn, we've got Killen, and they're okay. But Barta is what will remain and recover that time trial rating to where it is. We are trying to grow the team, not hold us back. We have actually improved now. We're a 3-star team. We're not a 3.5-star team, okay? But our current rating, partway, halfway through the year, has now gone to 3.5 stars. Barta's part of that. We need to keep that time trial rating. It doesn't have to be crazy high, but if we're going to grow and develop and get better, we can't be losing half stars. I need a time trialist on the team. He should, keyword, should be cheap, should be affordable. Not like Carlos Rodriguez. I don't want to lose both of my top time trialists and have that time trial rating plummet. I want to keep one of them, albeit cheap. As long as he's cheap, I will re-sign Barta for the team rating and nothing else. And that's why I'm keeping Barta. It's not that I want him, but as long as he's like 4,000 or under, that's a necessity, right? That's replacing what was Carlos Rodriguez in that last one. The overpaid, not so great, but should give us something. Well, he really didn't. He's given us a little time trial rating. That's all. And he's definitely not going to be worth re-signing at 10, 12, 14,000 that he's going to want. So that's why I'm keeping Barta. Speaking of Barta, we move on to the U.S. National Championships, where Barta is the second favorite overall. However, that does not mean he has much of a chance. There is a huge disparity from first to second. Joseph Berry is like an 82, 83 or something like that. He has got a crazy time trial rating. And Barta then just makes it above the next few riders as the second favorite. So don't expect much. Don't expect fireworks here with Barta. But Barta sets off. It's a +2 race day condition. Garrison all the way up in 5th place here. Barta, number 41. There's going to be a few guys after him. Barta 7 seconds down, but he's good on the energy consumption, and I can now go up to a 76, push a little bit harder the rest of the way. He does slip to 8th and 9th. That means the guys, oh gosh, look at the time. It just jumped. Somebody's got a 13-second advantage at the first time check, and I'm guessing, oh, look, Joseph Berry, 13 seconds ahead. So we're going to be fighting it out for second at best. 5th place now, 16 seconds down, so you can see how Barta is gaining some time now, and he'll be able to push harder to the end. In fact, we're going to really push because there's a downhill section here, and he's looking quite good on the energy. 99 to the end. Attack. Into the current lead, yes. Into the current lead. It's not going to be a win, though. It's not going to be a win, but it should be a top 5. Maybe a podium.
Whoa, the reference
Yep,
time has just
there you go.
lowered.
Second place. Denny Ginn sets off on the Great Britain, the British National Championship, and sets off a little unluckily. He was supposed to have a +1 race day condition, ended up with a -1. Can't win them all in that department. We already lucked out massively with Carlos Rodriguez, so we would expect through the course of our other riders that will sort itself out one way or another. Chris Froome has the early lead here. Gegenhardt, recent Giro winner. I love how he wins his first stage, doesn't have to play the role of domestique for the first time, and goes on and wins the whole tour. I'm such a Gegenhardt fan. He is easily one of my 5 favorite riders, so really, really stoked that he pulled off that win seemingly out of nowhere. Of course, I I really didn't see much of it. I just got highlights as the Giro is not televised in the US. Have been watching the Vuelta. I'm a few stages behind, and a few of the stages I've kind of just sped my way through. Like, I just finished watching stage 9, sprint finish. Kind of got right to the end on that one. Watched the whole stage in about 10 minutes, but that was very naughty from Sam Bennett. And immediately afterward, I started looking up if he was relegated or not, and then when I saw he was, I kind of kept watching. I actually watched more of the post-race to see when they would pick that up and how it would be picked up. And yeah, that was very naughty from Sam Bennett and very unnecessary, and part of me felt good about that, because if you watched my podcast series that I did on the tour, I was not happy. Man, oh man, was I not happy when Peter Sagan was relegated and essentially knocked out of the green jersey competition, which he would have probably won. I mean, the Champs-Élysées would have swung it in Sam Bennett's favor officially, but Sagan had given up and wasn't trying to get the points there in the last couple stage when it became clear that it was out of reach. And so the what-if scenario, you could easily say that it was a very, very tight competition and could have gone a little differently, depending on that. Fifth place, nice. Still top 10 for now. There can't be too many riders left. Just the last few riders. So top 10 maybe for Ginn. Maybe he's down to 10th. He's probably going to drop out. 11th place. That's largely. Well, that's two reasons for that. One, I did not manage his energy terribly well, but that's also because I knew he wasn't going to have a terribly good race. Top 10 would have been nice, but whatever. That second reason, main reason, was he had the negative race day condition, and it just wasn't looking that strong, you know? Who won it? Were you looking? I wasn't. I was not paying attention. Somebody won it. I did see it. I just didn't recognize the name, and so that it just immediately went bloop, right out my head. Brian Barrow. Who is Brian Barrow? That's Brian Barrow. Oh, of course, he's on Ineos. I didn't notice that either. Holy cow, he is a decent stage racer. This guy's got some potential. Okay, 22. We don't know. I'm just going to assign a scout because I'm curious about Mr. Brian Barrow. Of course, Ineos already have their claws on him, and they're probably already paying him as much as my entire team earns. His average is a 78, the 22-year-old. But, man, I could use a rider like that. I just can't afford one. Thomas was second, Dowsett was third. We were 7 seconds outside of the top 10. It was close. I probably could have gotten 7 more seconds if I had played that correctly and not run out of energy just before the end. But, I mean, come on, 10th, 11th, what does it matter? At this point, the sponsor is already happy. We actually haven't moved forward a day, but I'm curious about, do I have noteworthy results? I do. A single plus for Rodriguez winning? Really? That's it? That's kind of lame. My sponsor doesn't care. They cared more about Vermark getting a top 10 at Flèche Wallonne than they cared about winning the time trial for Spain. I mean, it is Spain, right? I'm not downplaying Spain here. I'm saying that is a good thing. It's one of the major nations in the sport, and he won. Winner. On to the road races. We begin with the U.S. National Championship. I've got 6 riders here, so it's nice that I have this many to choose from. As a precautionary thing, I put Jorgensen in the break to make sure that the break wouldn't get too far away and force other teams to do the chasing. Boy, told you to go get water. He failed. Jorgensen's not going to win a sprint. We had just 6 in the break, but the pace has been really slow. There was actually a slow enough pace, big enough gap that there was a rider in no man's land for about 130k and nearly caught the breakaway before he finally ran out of energy and dropped back to the Peloton. But that was how slow they were going. That one rider was able to go quick enough. And come on, Garrison, finish the job. Give water to Telford. There he is. He's right over there. You can do it. All right, so Jorgensen's back, and obviously just spent a whole lot of energy. Go ahead and protect Garrison now. Let's also step this up. There are going to be some attacks. Sepp Kuss is one of them. There's Garrison. A lot of riders who would normally compete otherwise have to kind of play that puncher role today. So we definitely don't want to break to get too far away. Right now, that's not an issue. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll chase that if we need to. I have lead-out riders, but none of them are good. And we're going to have to rely on the only sprinter that is an American and happens to be the weakest of all of our sprinters. But there aren't really any good sprinters in the U.S., so will Noah Granigan have a shot today? Well, EF has some teammates here. Rowley has some teammates here. But otherwise, for the most part, it's a bunch of solo riders. For that, I like our odds a little bit anyway. We're already losing some riders out the back. It's been a long day. It's like 260k. So there is some fatigue out there. And you can see more riders have been dropped. Okay, before those guys suddenly have a gap over us, which is looking like Vermeulen's trying to set up. Vermeulen's sitting up and creating a gap right there. So let's set this up. Granigan's going to be led out by Vermark. Not good on the race day condition. I don't like our chances. We're going to have to go late, but we're going to try to just push tempo. Okay, flat ratings. Pretty similar. Who's not tired? Garrison is not tired. Bart is doing a little bit better than Telford, and Jorgensen was the one out front, so I can see why he's a little more tired compared to the others. Okay, 92. Get out there. No, don't sit up. Okay, those guys sat up. Gap was only there for a second. 12k to go. We just want to set a tempo that's going to do some damage behind us, but not necessarily to us. So we'll see how fast Jorgensen can go to do that.
10 kilometers remaining.
94 seems to be working. Not hurting anyone else. Can you go a little harder then?
The riders are closing on the last 8 kilometers of the stage, which will most likely end
hop
up in
onto
our
the
last
back.
sprint.
Let's do our next gel. 7.5k to go. Okay, this is ideal right now. Everybody's got their full red bar. And we're nicely out front. And we're not so fast that we're doing any damage to our teammates. 99 seems to be working. Yeah, here we go. Kuss trying to attack. Barry trying to attack. The other guys who would have some sort of say in what we're going to do. A little late on the gel there. Sorry. 2.4, 2.2. 3 guys, so let's go. Garrison.
And they're off. It's going to be very fast.
For Mark. Good acceleration. Granigan. It's a good lead out. He's going to get a podium. We're going to get a double podium. Vermeulen takes the win. Granigan second. Vermark third. Brian fourth. Joyce, McCabe. There's your actual sprinters, and that's about where that list ends. Is Travis McCabe. I don't think there's any sprinters after that. I'm not seeing any. So we managed to get in and amongst the 4 sprinters. Well, 5 if you count Granigan. the 5 sprinters in this race, and we got both second and third. Not a win, though. A win would have been nice, but this was certainly not catered to us, this race. Good result. That is going to do it for this episode, though. We've got some more national championships to come. And then we're moving into our final couple races of the year. And actually, we have our last sponsor objective next. After we get through the road races of the national championships, anyway. So that's coming up. And then we're pushing into August. I mean, it's that fast. It's all coming together. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.